Hey guys, Legendaray here, and welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Now, Clash Royale is a game that has so much potential, but I mean, recently it's pretty obvious that it's just not living up to it. However, Clash Royale in 2021 is looking a little bit better than its previous year, with the dev team already having 4 major updates planned to be releasing every single quarter during this year. That means that the next major Clash Royale update is going to actually happen in March, and as Drew said on his most recent interview on CWA's channel, he confirms that the next update will most likely be aimed at improving player progression in Clash Royale. In addition, he's also teased a brand new gameplay hook that should also be arriving sometime in 2021, although we don't have too much information on what that just might be. Anyways, today I'll be going over 4 major updates that I would personally like to see come to Clash Royale. Some of these the dev team has already confirmed that they are working on, and others I just really would like to see, and I genuinely think they would make for a much better playing experience in the arena. Now, before we get into the list, if you guys could please leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Also, feel free to check out my Instagram and Twitter, links down below, and if you'd like to support me, feel free to use code Legendaray in the shop. And with all that out of the way, let's get right into the list. Number 1. New gameplay hook. Now, a new gameplay hook, like I said previously, has already been confirmed by Drew to be coming sometime in 2021. However, that is definitely an update I want to see, so of course it's going to make this list. Clash Royale's gameplay has become rather repetitive over the last couple of seasons, especially now that balance changes are only going to be occurring every 3 months or so. The meta generally will not evolve too much, and gameplay is just going to become even more repetitive. Now, I said this in a previous video where I went over a serious critique of Clash Royale, but for any game to become fresh and remain relevant for a player base, there needs to be some sort of addition to a game's core gameplay loops. And in Clash Royale, that's simply just logging on, playing a couple of matches, fill up your chest slots, maybe play a couple of challenges, and then logging off. In terms of gameplay and what most players will experience, this is generally what happens. While there is also an additional element of skill in terms of playing the cards and timing them correctly, a large amount of the casual player base does not actually have a large focus on that, which means that a large majority of their matches comes down to either matchup or whether or not they get completely steamrolled by over-leveled opponents. So what can Clash Royale do to spice up their gameplay? Well, I have a couple of suggestions. The first is a map maker similar to what they have currently in Brawl Stars. This is a feature that actually had a lot of positive feedback from the Brawl Stars community, and it's technically a thing in Clash of Clans too, because you get to customize the map of your base, so why not add that to Clash Royale? Custom maps and obstacles and more rivers and stuff like that are a great way to change up the traditional arena that you see over and over again in Clash Royale, and it can definitely introduce interesting strategies that players just have not seen before. Another new gameplay element I believe the dev team can incorporate is to begin taking more risks with new game modes. I believe that there's so much potential in this element of Clash Royale, and honestly, a really fun new challenge will just be something that breathes new life, especially towards a more casual player base. So in 2021, I really do want to see the dev team go a little bit more crazy on their game mode, and in addition, maybe see it as a way to test certain cards or features that they're thinking of introducing. For example, if Clash Royale is testing out a brand new card that they're thinking of introducing, why not introduce it into a challenge so that players can test it out and play it and see if it's something that'll actually be a good addition into the main game. If not, then just go ahead and take the card out or have it come back occasionally in a reoccurring challenge. Personally, I think game modes are going to be an essential part to the longevity of Clash Royale, and it's going to be something that I also talk about later on in this video. Number 2. Progression. Now, progression is obviously a very important factor in Clash Royale. This is pretty obvious, right? Progression in Clash Royale is currently very slow. There isn't really a free-to-play method for players to consistently grind out chests, cards, and gold, and it takes months and months to even just max out one single deck in the game. However, this game almost completely revolves around levels, may that be on ladder or in clan wars, which means that a vast majority of the player base will almost always face over-leveled opponents over and over again, which just overall makes for a not very fun playing experience. There is some good news, however, as the dev team has confirmed that the next major update will most likely be addressing the progression issues that players face in the game. Again, this update will most likely be dropping in March, so what are a couple things that I would personally like to see? Well, the first thing that I like to see is a rework to challenges. The dev team has said that this is not planned to be coming in that next update, but it definitely is something that I would like to see, because having played a couple of grand challenges recently, there really aren't too many people that are playing in these challenges. And considering that this is actually one of the best ways for players to unlock cards and unlock gold to level their cards up, this is just an absolute gold mine that a majority of the player base simply cannot afford or not even have the level in order to participate in. Therefore, I really do think a rework to the classic and grand challenge system is a great way to encourage players to play more Clash Royale, gain more cards, and level up just a little bit quicker. In addition, for players that have reached that level where they're trying to grind out those max levels, they usually will have more cards at a tournament standard or above, so it's not even that players don't have the levels to play in the challenges, it's that they're just straight up too expensive. The next thing that I really would like to see, but I don't think is something that the dev team is planning on adding either, is a tournament standard clan wars. I know the dev team wants clan wars to be a method that encourages players to level up more decks, and that essentially is the main reason why they are refusing to change clan wars to a tournament standard game mode. However, I have a couple of counter arguments to that. First off, the dev team has stated that at some point in the future, they would like to change all matches above 7,000 trophies into a duel mode, meaning that once you reach that end game portion, then you're going to have those card levels regardless, so why require those card levels in Clan Wars, which is a game mode that everyone can play in? Personally, I think Clan Wars should be completely tournament standard, allowing more players to actually participate in, and then add the duel game mode above 7,000 trophies if they want to, and by then, players will be more towards the end game and will actually be able to have the levels and have the cards to be able to participate in that duel. Now, there are a ton of other changes that I would personally like to see, including reworks to chests as well as the shop system, but I won't go over those right now for the sake of time. All in all though, progression is definitely something that is extremely lacking in the current game, and I believe the dev team made the right choice in prioritizing that as being their next major update. Number 3. Early and endgame. So another thing that isn't too strong in this game is how they deal with the early as well as end game players. Starting off in the early game, there really just isn't that much to do. New players will download the game, go through the tutorial, play a couple matches on ladder, and that's pretty much it. And there's really not that much else to do. Challenges are completely off limits until they actually reach level 5, and you don't even have access to all the challenges until you're XP level 8. That not only takes a while, but since you don't have access to one of the quickest ways to level up your cards, you're simply not going to be able to get there as quickly as possible. In addition, with so many players now reaching higher and higher levels on their own personal accounts, it's going to be harder and harder for these newer players to actually catch up and have a chance at competing with those older players. Moving to the other side of the spectrum, on the end game, there also really isn't too much to do. If you're like most players, you've maxed out a single deck, you've pushed up on ladder, and at that point, this results in gameplay becoming very repetitive, and I noticed that a lot of endgame players actually aren't having as much fun as they used to. One solution that I have for early game players is again a rework to challenges. I want to see Clash Royale add more events that are at a tournament standard, meaning that anyone that joins will automatically have tournament standard level 9 cards, and I want to see earlier access to these challenges. Currently, some of the challenges are split into 2 pools. The first pool is between players that are level 8 and above, and the second pool is a more casual version of the challenge for players that are between levels 5 and 8. I want to see this challenge cap dropped from level 5 to level 1. That way these earlier players will have more of a way to gain rewards without worrying about their levels, and potentially gain more experience by familiarizing themselves with these more advanced cards and mechanics. Another addition I think would be great is a puzzle or some sort of sandbox mode. This would be great for both early as well as end game players because it allows a way for players to actually play test certain things. You straight up just replace the trainer thing with a sandbox mode, and I think that'll drive much more traffic to some sort of practice game mode. For early game players, this is a way for them to test certain cards and figure out how exactly they work in a non-pressuring situation, and for end game players, it's a way for them to practice certain interactions and practice their mechanical skill in terms of timing their interactions. By improving both the early as well as the end game of Clash Royale, the game itself will be more attractive to new players, as well as keeping those longtime players more hooked into the game itself. Number 4. Community and clan interaction. Now this is something that I really think that the dev team has lacked adding into the game for a very long time. There simply isn't that much community or clan interaction that goes on in the game. Yeah, there's clan wars, but is there really clan interaction in these wars? I mean, just take a look at the Clash of Clans system of clan wars. Clanmates always work together, coordinate attacks, and they can even directly help their clanmates by donating them troops that will physically help on the attack. In addition, there's direct competition between clans that just incentivizes more players to remain active in these certain clan events. This is something that's just simply not there for Clash Royale. I understand that it's very difficult for clan v clan to actually work out very effectively, since it's hard to get both clans to be online at the same time, but one way or another, there needs to be ways to incentivize clans to work together more in order to improve the community aspect of the game. After all, the game's not very fun just on your own, it's definitely more fun playing with friends. The first thing that I would suggest is adding clan perks that can be gained through clan wars. I've suggested this in pretty much every single update wishlist video, and I continue to stand by this. I strongly believe that clan perks is something that will actually encourage more players to participate in clan wars. Now these clan perks can be pretty simple, from being able to request cards faster or being able to request more cards one way or another. By making sure that there is a benefit to the entire clan by participating in clan wars, players will actually be able to get much more out of it and will also be a lot more willing to stay in the same clan for longer. Another thing I would like to see is some more changes to clan wars. Now I understand that the clan war update definitely did not land the way the dev team figured. However, this format of clan wars definitely does have some sort of potential. Like I said previously, not only do I want the entire clan wars mode to be at a tournament standard, but I also would like to see them experiment with more game modes such as duels that you simply cannot play anywhere else in the game. Again, this will change up the player's gameplay, and adding on to the fact that the dev team wants clan wars to be a major way of players getting rewards, they really need to do a better job at incentivizing players to participate in clan wars. So there we go, those are the 4 major updates that I would personally like to see drop in 2021. I truly believe that these are good changes, and I think that they will help improve the player experience in the game in general, so I hope that the Clash Royale dev team does see this video and, you know, maybe take some of my ideas into consideration. But unfortunately guys, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. Huge thanks to all of my channel members, you guys are the absolute G's. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below, as well as a subscription to my channel, and as always, this is Legendaray, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.